What's going on, everybody? So today's video is over green hair algae and how I was able to get rid of it in about a week and a half. I was able to completely get rid of the green hair algae, and here it is about 4 months later and still no hair algae. Well, I say no. I do have a little bit back there, but it's nothing like it used to be. So a few months back, I did have hair algae completely covering this tank. I do run a higher nutrient system. So what happened was I got a few corals in and they were covered in green hair algae. I went ahead and dipped them like I normally did. Probably didn't do a good enough job. Went ahead and stuck them in the system and just let them go. And then a few months later, well, a few weeks later to a month later, I had green hair algae everywhere. It started off pretty short and my rocks were furry, until eventually these long strands of hair algae all over my system. As you can see, no longer have that issue. So I'm going to show you guys how I was able to get that under control. All right, so for step one is going to be manual removal of the green hair algae. So I'm guessing if you're watching this video, you probably have a pretty bad outbreak or an outbreak you're not able to get under control. So for the first step, if it is just small hair algae and you can manually remove it, maybe you'll remove it and it won't come back. But if it's coming back, I would actually suggest that you do let it grow in a little bit. Let it get a little bit longer so you can really see where it's taking its stand in. Because I've noticed hair algae will grow in lower flow areas of the tank. So I know it sounds counterintuitive, but let it grow in a little bit. That way you're able to, when you do manually remove it, you're able to get large chunks and pull a lot of it out. It's pretty hard to manually remove really small, like centimeter sized strands of hair algae. And then whenever it does get a little bit bigger, it clumps together. It just makes removing it a lot easier. So some things I did is just use my hands, go in there, pull some out. You can also use a brush, just brush the rock, and you're able to pull it out with the bristles of the brush. Take it off the brush, throw it away, and then just do that throughout your tank. And then for the hard to reach spots, get you some tweezers, able to get in there and you'll pull that green hair algae out. So that is step one, manual removal. All right, for step two is going to be cleanup crew. So I would suggest getting you quite a few hermit crabs, and you can also get a conch here. They're awesome for cleaning up algae. They usually go after detritus, but they can get the smaller bits of hair algae. So they are a great thing to have, but we're really mainly talking about hermit crabs. So I would suggest getting 10, 15, 20 of them. You really can't overdo it. If you have a really bad outbreak, there's going to be plenty for them to eat. Just know once they do run out of food source, you're going to have to feed them or give them to a buddy or something, or give them back to the shop after you're done. But they do a really good job getting rid of the hair algae. Now I will say it has to be small. They will not get rid of these large, huge strands of it. So once you manually remove the large strands of hair algae, throw these guys in here and they'll help graze down on the really small stuff. It's an awesome trick. I think a lot of people go wrong is they go and get a bunch of hermit crabs when they already have super long hair algae, and the hermit crabs just won't touch it. They only go after the small stuff. So that is step two. All right, on to step three. So after you've mainly removed your hair algae and you've beat up your cleanup crew, go ahead and pick you up a bottle of this Vibrant. Now, there are two different versions of Vibrant. There is a regular saltwater aquarium version and there's a reef safe version. Guys, it's the same product, just the saltwater version is a little stronger. I believe it's cheaper, so go ahead and get you the saltwater version. It's fine. I use it. It's completely safe to do so. No problems at all. As you can see, all my corals are fine. Everything did fine. All my invertebrates are fine. All my fish did just fine. So go ahead and save you a little bit of money and get the saltwater aquarium version. I got this off Amazon. I have a link down below, but you can just search saltwater Vibrant if you want. So it's a great product. It absolutely nukes the hair algae. I've never seen a product that works as well as this. I've used a few different products. I have one by, I think, here it's right here. I've also used this product. It's pretty good, but I'm telling you guys, Vibrant is the way to go. So it clears up your water, and then it also kills the hair algae. So there was some controversy around this brand in the past, so some people are kind of hesitant to use this brand. They did claim that they were 100% natural back in the day. They're not. It is a chemical, so just know what you're putting into your aquarium. This is a chemical. Treat it as a chemical. So make sure you read the instructions and do exactly what it says, and then even start off with a half dose. That's what I did, and I had no problems at all. And I know many people have done the exact same thing and had no problems at all. So it does kill all algae, not all algae. Ooh, let me bring that back. Your purple algae will be completely fine. So don't worry about that. It kills macroalgae and hair algae. So if you have refugium, make sure to take out your macroalgae. So I'm using Chaeto in here. So what I did is I pulled out the Chaeto, I put it in a Ziploc bag, and I put that Chaeto just underneath in my aquarium stand, room temperature. It was in there for a month, you know, no flow, just room temperature in a bag for a month, and it was completely fine. After that month was up, I did a water change, 20% water change on my aquarium, and I rinsed off that Chaeto in salt water, put it right back in my Fuge, and it's been growing ever since. So I wouldn't worry about your Chaeto too much. Just put it in a Ziploc bag, it'll be completely fine. But make sure you do take it out, because the Vibrant more than likely will kill it. I don't know, I didn't test it out. I just took out my Chaeto, like the instructions say, and everything was fine. But this product's great. It's going to absolutely nuke your hair algae. And I had a pretty bad outbreak, and as you can see, the only bit I have left is over here, and I just manually remove that from time to time, and that's about it. So those are the 3 steps I used. So manual removal, beefing up your cleanup crew, and getting Vibrant. So after you use Vibrant for about a week, you're going to see that your hair algae is almost completely gone. There might be a little bit of strands here and there, but after about 2 weeks, it's going to be completely gone. If it's not, you can go ahead and repeat those steps, minus getting more cleanup crew. Just keep the cleanup crew you have, but go ahead and manually remove any that you have left, and then add in some more Vibrant after a 10 to 20% water change, and reassess in another week or so. Once everything looks good, your hair algae's gone, do that last water change, 10 to 20%, put your Chaeto back in, and then everything should be back to normal. Put your activated carbon back in and your GFO as well, and that'll help break down the rest of the chemical that's in the system. And also, if you do have a skimmer, your skimmer is going to go a little nuts for a week or so, so just turn it off. It's fine. I just turned mine off for a week, turned it back on, and everything was working just fine. So I hope you enjoyed. That's what worked for me, and it worked very quickly. So if you have any questions, just leave them down in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.